Hi. So I don't know if I've ever shared with you. Actually, no, I know I have never shared with you about my journey with aromatherapy. And many years ago, many years ago, I was introduced to it and I loved it. It was just lovely. I knew it was powerful, but I didn't really know exactly anything about it other than it smelled good, it felt good. And I wanted to be part of it. And I remember buying a beautiful set that somebody had made, that I knew that it was more than perfume. It was something that really spoke on a cell level and on a spiritual level. And so I bought into it that way. Then, when I had cancer 3 years ago, I received an email from somebody, a neighbor, a wonderful neighbor, saying about the healing effects with cancer with using frankincense. So, of course, I looked into it because I was, checking things, see how they resonated with me. And the frankincense sounded wonderful. Not sure exactly what information came with the email as to how to use it. I think it was about rubbing. I had breast cancer, rubbing it on the breast cancer site. I had breast cancer on both sides. So the frankincense, I just love it. And what it does is it sharpens your connection to your pineal gland, which sharpens your connection to the all that is. Anyhow, I started rubbing it on my breast. I rubbed it on my breast, not just like a job and get it done, but more like a loving, as if I was loving my breasts. My breast became the symbol of the breasts of all women. And the breasts are, if you think about it, they're the first nurturing element we come across. If your mother is breastfeeding, or if the mother is breastfeeding, that nurturing quality that the breasts bring. And I just started having these wonderful, profound experiences with rubbing it on my breast with great love and thanking my breast. And they had fed my child, and I was a wet nurse for a little while, a long time ago. I also rubbed it on the bottom of my feet. But what I started by was when I opened the jar, I would speak to the tree, the boswellia tree, as I waited for my drop to come out, and have a relationship with the tree, that the trees, in some cases, that actually were where the essence came from. And then I would make my intention for myself in relationship with the tree, in relationship with the universal powers. And then cup it over my face and bless myself and anoint myself with it. And then proceed on to my breasts. And then down to the bottom of my feet. Now, this came along with speaking to my feet, loving my feet and thanking them. When's the last time you thanked your feet for all they do, right? Well, it had been ages. I have not necessarily nurtured my feet. I used to walk barefoot in a lot of places. I climbed the Rockies barefoot back when I was way younger. I walked the Pacific Crest Trail most of the time barefoot when I was a lot younger. I've really used my feet and not nurtured them much. And so it felt so good to rub this on the points on my feet and to rub my whole feet with the frankincense and to thank them. And 3 days, or 3 nights, I should say, after I started using the essential oil this way, I had this amazing experience. I had a dream, and the dream is quite lengthy, so I won't go into the whole dream, but it was about a baby that was dead, my baby, in the dream, and how it came alive again by giving it loving energy and touching the baby, which I had resisted in the dream. And as I touched the baby, stroking her forehead, hugging her, she came alive again. It took me a while to figure out what that dream meant. When I woke up, I remembered that dream very clearly. And I questioned, what was that? And all of a sudden it popped into my mind, I've had a miracle. I've had a miracle, and I don't need that double mastectomy that I'm signed up for. It's big information. So of course I called up my surgeon and I told her, and she said, yep, you've had a miracle, I'm sure. Why don't we come in and we'll talk about it? So we scheduled, instead of the double mastectomy, to have 2 lumpectomies and a sentinel node biopsy as well. And we did that. And it came back that just one of the margins was not clear. So I had another surgery. My naturopath suggested that I do the surgeries. So I did. And so the second surgery was set, to a certain time ahead of time. And I continued with all my practices, including the frankincense and a lot of other practices that I've told you some about. But anyhow, by the time I had that next surgery, there was no cancer in what they took out. So that's just a little bit of my experience, be it what it is. I'm not suggesting that this is medical treatment. This is simply my experience of using the essential oils. Okay. I had another little experience that's tied into this. I also noticed that I had 3 little things growing, one here, and one here. When I put the frankincense on those 3 spots, this one and this one burned, as well as when I put it on my breast. It burned just to the spots where the cancer was. So I thought, interesting, when it burned here, it's doing something. I carried on doing it. I felt moved to do it. And carried on doing it. Really didn't do any difference, but I liked doing it. I felt like I was doing something that was good for me. And a period of time later, I was in the shower and I was just washing my face, and I washed my face, and that little thing fluffed off into my hand. And then a period after, this one did. This one never did, and it never burned. It slowly just sort of went back in. It was a very small bump. So the frankincense is pretty interesting. It works on many levels, and I really believe it's a divine gift and a blessing for our lives. Whenever you're going to apply any essential oil to your skin, always make sure it's one that is friendly to your skin. And that's number 1. Make sure that it's one that you can use. Also, there is some that you can use normally on your skin. They should be diluted, or, and it is recommended that you dilute any essential oils when you put them on your skin. You can dilute them with a carrier oil. You can do more research on that. At the time, I didn't, but sometimes I was buying stuff that was 20%. Sometimes I was buying the really wonderful Dr. Young stuff, and I can post a link on that if you're interested. Actually, I'm going to put that in the chat so that you can copy and paste that link if you're interested in getting Dr. Young frankincense. It's beautiful, high grade, and you might really enjoy that. And I think I had one other point I wanted to make. So the frankincense is a very beautiful thing, and there's a reason why it was a gift that the three wise men brought to the baby Jesus. He was a baby in a barn, and there was a lot of, he was in a barn with all the bacteria and such, and those were the medicines of the day. So to have the frankincense and the myrrh, and they were really very expensive, and they still are not cheap things, but really valuable tool for your tool chest. Ashley probably saved me many thousands of dollars, and pain and losing my breast, if that's what happened. I'm not sure what made that all work the way it did. The universe has a very interesting way of working things, but it was a joy to use. I love it. I still use it. I use it on a daily basis, sometimes several times a day. It's not addicting, but it is very beautiful to use. And there's lots of other beautiful ones to use as well. This one here, Egyptian gold, I love it. It has a lot of ingredients in it, but the first one is boswellia, which is the frankincense. And so I love this one as well. And when I'm doing a project or going into some important work that I feel like I really want to be focused and in my full power with, I will use this to anoint myself. How much of it has to do with power of the mind? Probably a lot of it. The mind is very powerful. And I love to teach that with my clients, that, if we can control our mind and bring our mind to place, that is a big part of the job right there. So tools that help us to focus our mind are very powerful. And so with that, I wish you many blessings. I hope that you enjoyed this. And we'll look forward to some responses. Please let me know what you think. Okay, blessings now. Have a wonderful day.